that's the airplane that I used to fly in and out of California with, right there. I would fly out of San Diego to Palm Springs, and that's me with my gear getting ready to go have breakfast in Palm Springs with a fella named Burl Stallworthy. Now, Burl Stallworthy owns the sand pit in Temecula, California, where the largest shrub oak on the planet and the oldest shrub oak on the planet exist. So when you Google Temecula, California, the fella that I flew with is the fella from Temecula, California, named Burl Stallworthy. Unfortunately, Burl died 4 years ago, but that's the fella, and I'm sure there's a story up there because he saved the shrub oak. Now, this is a picture of the plane that was a 707. And this picture of the plane that was a 707, I actually drove that vehicle down one of the highways in California when I was 14. Now, I am taking the picture, I believe, and that is my friends, but we are sitting there hanging out, actually partying with that guy. But that's another picture that some of the things that I did as a kid. And of course, this is the World Trade Center right above that. Let's see, where are we? We are right over the World Trade Center. That's not the World Trade Center. And the ship, and there's the World Trade Center. I took pictures of the World Trade Center before the World Trade Center was done, and it's hard for you to see it, but I don't think the top floors on the right building were done when, I know they weren't done inside, and I don't know if they had all the windows outside in that picture, but all around the building, because I was in the building that day. We were working on that tugboat that I told you about, the Paulinock. And then, of course, I was in the ice at some point when I was a kid. Liked to play in the ice a lot, and that's a picture of Howard Beach by Mrs. Anderson's house. When there was ice so thick, it was 6 foot of ice going up and down on the poles. And I don't know if you can see the hat that I have on, but the same hat I have on there is, of course, the hat I have on sitting on top of Christ. And this, if you can see it, when I zoom this back, this is a picture of me in 1980 in a spacesuit that we got for Halloween, and we rented a couple of limousines. This is actually a picture at Studio 54, inside Studio 54, and I can't actually tell you that story, but let me tell you, it was an interesting evening. Now, let's see, we have our flight gear because we're going back into pilot training relatively soon. And we have, of course, the man, Jesus Christ Uno God in Italian, who made it all possible for us to be here. Supposedly, I mean, that's the story. I have my reservations about the Bible, but I do believe Christ existed as a human being, and I do believe that Christ was godlike, and I do believe that the same methodology that Christ used to become godlike is possible for all men, and it says as much in the Bible. To each man is given gifts, and some speak in tongues, and some have the gift of prophecy, and so on and so forth. And that's something that I really like to expound upon to people that I'm close with, because you people, you think the universe is so cut and dry. You think that you have an understanding of the universe because you went to school for 2 or 3 years, and somebody standing in front of a blackboard with a piece of chalk, you think that they told you the truth. They lied to you. They were lying to you. Listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell you another story. Now we're going to get into the big story. What I did today was I made a new business up. I don't know if you could see it. I started a new business. I call it Bible Thumping for Beginners. And I started a sub-business also. It's called Bible Thumping for Cash. That's right. So if you need to send your cash, extra cash, if you have extra cash, which is something I want to discuss with you in a moment. But see this picture here? This is a story. See, this is a story because I just explained to you some of my background, and of course I explained to you that I'm a jet mechanic on multiple occasions. These things that you think are possible, like some clown tells you, some clown named Bush, some piece of garbage that blew up the World Trade Center, tells you that a piece of aluminum, this is a piece of an airplane. I mean, I made it, but this is it. There's not much more to an airplane than this. I could punch a hole. I mean, I could dent this thing right now. See, this is something. This is a story. This little piece of aluminum didn't break beams 3 inches thick. It didn't happen. You could think it happened if you want to think it happened. It don't matter to me. But this is a story. This is a story. It didn't happen. There's a guy named Thrust72. He made a couple of comments on my page today. He's a jet mechanic too, or he understands about jet. He understands. He might not be a jet mechanic. I think he is though, but he understands about melting temperatures of steel, and he knows about fast cars. He built a 1966 Mustang, super, what they used to call supercar, or go fast car. But he knows that that's a story. But moving past to where I wanted to get to you was that not only is this a really big story that's not true, but that everything inside this book is true. Everything inside this book is true. Everything. Every word of it is true. It's a methodology in which to enrich your life and live a happily ever after environment. If you follow the words of the New Testament and you're all lovey-dovey in your heart and everything is good to go, and you're like the guy who predicted the world was going to end on 11/11/11 at 11 o'clock in the morning, and then it didn't happen, and now he has to hide his face in shame. Of course he's not hiding his face in shame, and I don't want him to, but if you're either a Bible prophet or you're not. When I prophesied to my friends when I was a kid I was going to break the codices in the Bible and the $1 bill, I did it. I did it. I didn't say when I was 19 or 20 years old we'd be burning a bird and at a cemetery sitting on some stones and say I'm going to break the code on this $1 bill. I know there's a code on here. Now I didn't know it had to do with the Bible though. I had no idea it had to do with the Bible. I only knew that there was a code. Okay, so this is my life story. This is why Steven Spielberg should be knocking on my door with his niece. I mean, the least that he could do is offer me the services and company of his niece to escort, because I'm not really smart, so the niece could train me in etiquette, because I ain't got no fucking etiquette. So the least that could be, that would be something that'd be really nice, and I could make a deal with him. He could buy my book, buy the rights, but I don't know if they want the rights to my book, because Jeff from South Carolina and Bo from Bo Knows Entertainment both said the same thing. They're not coming for your book, Mike, because the three of us agree they're going to kill us all soon. It's all going to happen. Well, they don't think it's going to happen as fast as I think it's going to happen. I got people in Howard Beach that think I'm crazy since I was 5 years old. They don't believe anything I say. Although they know that what I say comes true, a lot of them know that because they've seen it firsthand. I mean, I could predict things that other people couldn't predict. And they would look at me and say, how did you do that? I'm psychic. Anyway, so I hear Jesus is in my head too, but I don't go around saying that the Hoover Dam was going to collapse. All my predictions, by the way, every one of my predictions came true. On May 22nd, on May 22nd of 2010, I said that Obama was going to be responsible for 2 nuclear detonations on his watch, at least, and destroy the economy. And I said the economy was going to be destroyed by December 15th of 2011 in my Georgia Guidestone video, in my video Michael Fazio, Speaker of Truth for President, Part 1 video. I said it. I said the economy was going to collapse on December 15th of 2011. I said it, and it happened. It's happening. You think that the world is still moving right along. The world is dead. You just don't know the world is dead. Let's see. I call you people, I actually have a lot, I call you the mental midgets, the 2 brain cells, and both of them are firing on different, timing mechanisms. You people are as dumb as whale shit. Anyway, this book here, this is a good book. That's a code too, by the way. If I dump it like that 3 times, $3.